Take two, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you back to our continuing series of interviews with volleyball coaches around the state. And lady to our left, not only is a great coach, but she's a state champion coach. That would be Jamie Siegel of Flower Mound. And coach, I know last year was a little bit tough. It's, basically the last 2 years, Class 6A has come down to the winner of the Byron Nelson Flower Mound match. The winner has gone on to win state. Two great matches. It's two great teams and two teams that now own a state championship. Talk about what's going on, the pandemic, how that has affected, first and foremost, family and loved ones, and secondly, how it's affected your program.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's kind of going through this, of course, just this step of adversity that we're having to face, and trying to be the face of hope and positivity for our kids and our families even. Our family, my family especially, been kind of crazy because when this happened, my son, he was sick with RSV and then pneumonia, and we were at Children's Medical Dallas. They were telling us, like, testing him for COVID, like, of course, everything, and it was coming back negative, and he was sleeping 19 hours a day, had a fever every day for over 60 days straight. And so, I mean, we had that stress during this quarantine period. And then all of a sudden, my husband redid the landscaping because we had nothing else to do in quarantine. And so he's like, we really need to replace the windows in the front of the house. So we did that. And then lo and behold, our house had black mold. So we have been going through this during the pandemic, and our construction is still kind of going on. It's finally done on the inside though, just the outside is now getting fixed. So going through that personal stress of trying to figure out what's wrong with our son, figure out everything in that regard, now trying to get the mold basically out of all of our bodies because we all have tested for it and have it, and our lungs and everything. So it's one of those things of, it puts a lot of things in perspective. Right. And a lot of people are suffering and going through different types of losses or stresses or whatever during the pandemic. And it's like I tell the girls, when we were doing our live workouts and whatnot, of just like finding one thing to be thankful for every single day, and every breath you get to take, be thankful for it and find joy in that, because there are others that don't have that joy that they are able to experience because, you know, they've lost their battle with something or something in that regard, or a family member. And it's just really focusing on these little tiny things that can bring us the littlest amount of hope and joy. And that's what's been our focus right now, of just not being bitter at the situation, but getting better because of the situation we're in. Because there's only two ways you can go with it, and I think the latter of the two is the best way to go with it. And just attacking it one day at a time. That's all we can do right now.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I've a lot of people have asked me about it being in the media, and I'm a 59-year-old guy. I'm an old man, and I'm just not used to this. This has just been frustrating. It's been confounding, but you just got to find a way through it, because I mean it's a serious thing. Major League Baseball has its issues, NHL and NBA are doing well, but they've been in the bubble situation, so you just got to find a way. And that leads me to the next question. I've talked to some great coaches so far, and I asked them about how tough it's been to try and handle all of this. Besides the volleyball side, they handle, all the COVID stuff. They handle all the arrangements and things necessary to get you and your team through this time.
I mean, it takes a lot more planning. I mean, you're so used to, like, every season, okay, it's planned and stone, you know what's happening, this is how it works, this is their system. And now it's just adding, the little details of, all right, taking their temperature upon entrance, making sure that they can't come in unless they have a mask on, making sure we take sanitization breaks. Like, we take 2 to 3 sanitization breaks of them sanitizing their hands as well as us cleaning the walls. And it's just planning that within the practice. It's something you don't think about, because we're like, wait, we want normal. Well, we have to realize it's not going to be normal, I don't think, ever again. Like, this, our new, hang on, still promise. This is going to be our new normal. And that's the biggest thing, is having us really just grasping that. Hang on, can you get him out there?
Yeah.
Is us really grasping that. Workerman right here, so he wants to be outside with them. It's just us grasping that and really seeing this as, hey, this is how it's going to be. We can't change it, so let's adapt to it and do what we can and handle it the best way possible by keeping these kids healthy, because that's our first priority, is keeping everybody healthy. And the kids have to understand that. They get so annoyed with the mask. I get annoyed coaching in a mask. I mean, but let's be honest, like, our first priority is the health of each and every single person that we're around. So we can't be selfish. It's teaching them a lesson of being unselfish as well. Like, stop thinking about yourself. Like, you got to think about the community, others around you, people that might have autoimmune diseases that it might affect differently, because they're like, well, I'm young. And I'm like, I don't care if you're young. Like, think about your, think about, you know, and so it's trying to teach those life lessons as well of being, you got to be unselfish. And sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do to be able to take care of people around.
Right. Yeah, totally agree. On a side note, I just heard from Jacob Thompson of Rouse, and he says, first of all, tell Jamie I said hello. And secondly, tell her I need to get the trophy back from Noosa so I can grave it saying COVID-19.
Literally. I still have it. I do need to get it back to him.
Such a Jacob Thompson. But anyway, last season, let's get back to volleyball for a minute.
Okay.
Last season was a phenomenal season. I mean, just a great follow-up to the state championship season of the year before, which, by the way, was your first at Flower Mound. And that doesn't happen very often, where you win a state championship your very first year at any program. It just doesn't happen very often. What was that like? What did you walk into? Did you walk into the, you know, some people would say, you know, the fountain of youth would be the ideal. Did you walk into the fountain of talent? I mean, what happened at first? And it's so tough because you know, and you know this, you talk to coaches who take a year or two to kind of get the program refined. You know, you got to kind of put your, you know, your mark on the program. You did it in what, 5 months? How did you do that? I mean, that's still an amazing. It's one of those great stories that those of us who saw it, were blessed to see it, will always remember, because it's so unusual. It was so amazing.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, the credit goes to the girls, and I mean, God, of course, of just putting me in this place, this opportunity. And I was lucky enough to be able to come over in, I think it was April, May. I was able to have the last 8 weeks of off season with them at Flower Mound, to kind of get to know them and build those relationships with them. And they bought in pretty quickly. And I'm a big visualizer person. So, like, even before every match, we do visualization. And I told them when I met them, I was like, this is a state championship program. Like, this program will win a state championship. It's, don't ask me when, don't ask me where, because that's going to be up to you guys and the effort and work you want to do, because it's not always the best team that's going to win state. It's the team that shows up and plays the best that night. And you have to be on every night. It's not going to be a walk in the park, you know. And the whole story of, I told them to close their eyes and imagine which finger they wanted the state ring on. Like, we went through that before we started, and that was in the spring when I first met them. And so they knew, they had that belief, because I'm a big believer that everybody has greatness in them. And it's my job as a teacher, coach, leader, whatever it is, to bring that greatness out of them and get them to believe in themselves that they do have that greatness. And it was just finding ways of, how can I get this individual, now this individual. Like, once I got one, I could kind of go, you know, kind of down the line in a way. And once all their greatness is out of them and putting that, meshing that together, that's when I saw it click, and I was like, man, this could happen this year. Like, people are not expecting us. People are not, they don't even have us on the map, honestly. Like, I was like, what is going on? Because I'm like, this team, like, we're good. Like, from day one. And I was like, dude, this team can get it done. And they bought in and they worked hard day in and day out. I'm not gonna lie, there was blood, sweat, and tears. There were, I mean, they were pushing girls. There's gonna be there's gonna be little dramas, but we nipped it in the bud that day. Like, we talk it out and we're good. And it's one of those things of, I think God just put me in the right place at the right time, and the girls stepped up and took care of business.
Well, it's getting to the point where I've talked to Terry Wade, talked to Sarah Palka, Friendswood, and Flower Mound is getting to be the point where you don't rebuild, you just reload. I mean, look at the list of returning players. Kaylee Cox, oh my God, all world.
Yeah.
Lily Sear, all world. Caroline Dyke, all world. I mean, every one of the girls that you listed on the returning players, I know from, their experience the last 2 years. Your team is depth, it's talented, and it's fundamentally sound.
Yes. And I mean, and they know it, and it's keeping them humble. And our practices that we've had yesterday and today, because we've had our 2-hour practice that we've been allowed to have with our extended evaluation period time. I mean, there's this group of seniors, they're not letting anybody slack off. Like, they have, they're not. I mean, there's no effort. Like, I don't have to really say that much. Like, they know my standards. They've been around me long enough now, and they know, hey, we've got to step up and we've got to play. Like, this isn't the Siegel way. And I'm not trying to sound whatever about that. I'm just saying, like, they know my style, and
Right.
they know that if we put in the effort, the time, the dedication, and everything, and we're going to have errors and everything, and we just have to know how to recover from those errors. If we do all those little details, they know that the big picture will take care of itself. And so, I mean, this group of seniors, they've been there. Those
Right.
seniors, all of them? Yeah. All of them are returning varsity. Yeah, they were there on that team. They were playing.
Nice.
Caroline played, Haley was playing, Kaylee, Jell, yeah, they played.
Hey, something you'll appreciate. So Josh Koch, he and Matt Malatesta did a great job on the volleyball pre-book for Houston. I was telling him, I was going to do a series of interviews, and I mentioned you and Flower Mound. He goes, oh, that's right. He said, who's that really good hitter that slams the ball down on the court, really well? I said, which one? Like, come on, man. It's not just one. There's like 4 of them,
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah. I mean, we are talented. It's keeping them healthy and keeping them mentally in check. Well, and not running to all these club clinics 10,000 times a day.
Well, again, fundamentally sound is what, to me, is an earmark of your program. And now the seniors are taking control and, making everybody accountable. It's just going to make you that much better. 380 career wins. I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully we'll get to 400. I know coaches hate milestones, but that's always something for us media folks, to watch and enjoy. Real quick, I'll wrap it up. How has the community responded with all of this going on?
But during the pandemic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I held our clinics for my feeder schools from 7th through 12th graders. Like, I would limit it to like 15 per court, per coach, or 10, whatever our limit was, our guidelines at that time. And it was good because it was exciting to see the kids excited to come to that.
Mm-hmm.
And the community backing that, of not having, like, any hesitation. Like, I wrote out every guideline, like, I could think of: wearing a mask, you can take through this door, you won't touch any doors, temperature, screening questions. We had balls, certain colored balls per court. You don't touch the ball unless it's your color ball per court. Just all these different stipulations. And it was good to see that energy and that atmosphere was still there, even though we haven't really been around that many since March. And community supporting that. And the community during this is our Louisville ISD, our admin, our leadership is amazing. And the communication piece is good, and it's working well. And the community, I know we all want to get back to normal, and I want to as well, but we have to agree and know that this normal is going to be different. Mm-hmm. And I want, everybody to enjoy this moment, because right now, I'll be completely honest, this is the most I've spent most time I spent with my son since he's been born. Honestly, and that sounds horrible as a mother, but I'm just always gone like with work
Right.
or what it was. And so we have to look at, okay, what blessings came of this and use those to help maybe, you know, push us even more to make our priorities right, as well as just focus in on keeping our positive outlook, because literally that is what our kids need. They need that hope. They need the positive outlook. They need to know that we will get through this. This will be okay. Like, it's okay to have these emotions. It's okay to experience some frustration, because we're all going to experience that at one time or another. But just how to handle it in a positive fashion. And our community has done nothing but support. They're helping us teachers in any way possible they can. I mean, there's Facebook pages for like support for LISD educators. I mean, the community has done nothing but step up during this pandemic, and it's been amazing to see us come together even closer as like a family unit.
Right. Well, speaking of community, please tell your husband Brian I said hello.
I will.
Get him. I'm gonna get him on the air as a broadcaster sometime.
Oh geez, he'll love it.
I'm gonna figure out a way to do it for sure. Also, Joe Lorenzini, who's one of the best photographers I've ever seen.
He is.
Oh my God, I love Joe.
He's awesome. We're so lucky.
Got at state last year, and oh my God, what a great find that was.
He's awesome.
Such a great guy. Definitely.
He's the best.
Yeah. So, okay, well, go enjoy your Italian dinner. And
Okay.
hey, thanks for the time. Thanks for the visit. And we will hopefully see you soon.
Yes, I'm praying.
All right. Jamie Siegel, Flower Mound. We will be back with another interview coming up as my dogs have decided to join the fray here. I'm Chuck Licata for VYPE and VYPE Live.